Ha! What's up? Remember that commercial?
What's up? I'm old enough to remember that.
Bud Light?
Yeah, I think
Bud
so.
Light? Whatever.
With the frogs, right?
Yeah. Happy Hump Day, everybody. I'm Jeff Michael. This is Rachel. Welcome back to the show. Love having you in.
I love being here.
It's dope. I love when you're here because it is raw.
It is raw. We are very ballsy on this sports show. You know, try to stay true to the name.
What did you say earlier? Sports with what?
Sports with balls. I was like, also sports with ovaries.
Sports with it. Well, I mean, it's a play on words, but that
Yeah.
you couldn't use that as a play on words.
Yeah, I do.
I love it. But anyways, y'all, welcome into Sports with Balls. We are over here at Christian's Tailgate 2000 Bagby. Man, I love shooting over here. This place is great. It's already filling up. It is a Wednesday night, man. Wednesday night here at Christian's, and it's already the bar's packed. Bar's packed.
This place stays lit.
I know.
I like this place.
It's a nice little atmosphere up here.
Bills games? I hope that we're here during a Bills playoff game, like doing a pre-show, because that was
That
nuts.
is wild. This is the home of the Bills Mafia for all the Bills fans there that here in Houston, Texas, and it is crazy in here. They do the horn. It is loud. There's probably 200-300 people in here.
I heard they even break tables.
Yeah, it's nuts. I've been in here for a full game. It is a lot of fun, man. But welcome in, y'all. We've got a lot going on. Today's show brought to you by David Carrier over there at Smarter Mortgage. Give him a call, 281-650-0648. Mention SWB, get a free quote ASAP, refinancing and purchasing. Also, want to welcome in attorney Brian White sponsoring the show today, man. Amazing. You want a real attorney with real results? This is the guy you call, attorney Brian White. I got off the phone with him yesterday. Incredible stories. He saved this guy's leg. They were going to chop it off. This doctor.
So he's saving people's legs and being an attorney?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These doctors were going to cut this guy's leg off. They were uncertified. It was unbelievable. But this attorney Brian White, man, the guy's a phenomenal attorney. Give him a shout for any of your personal injury lawsuits or whatever you want to get in a wreck, get whatever. Call attorney Brian White. But man, we are here today to talk about some sports. So, are you ready to get this show started?
I'm so ready.
Let's
Ready, baby.
Let's do it. Yeah. What's up? Welcome in, everybody. All of you guys on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, all of them. Welcome in live to Sports with Balls. I'm Jeff Michael. This is Rachel. Game Day, OJ, Von Orange, whichever you want.
Von Oranja.
Why did I say Oranja?
It's Orange, orange.
What's
whatever.
the worst one you've gotten?
Oh, probably orangey. Orangey.
Rachel Orangey?
Yeah.
Rachel Orangey. All right. Anyways, yeah, Aaron just chimed in. Rest in peace to John Madden. I mean, look, let's just jump right into it. This unbelievable news broke yesterday. 85-year-old legend in the football world in all aspects of it. John Madden passed away. So many storylines that go on with what happened over the course of his career. Unbelievable. And just listening to the stories from all the players, coaches, just media people, how he changed people's lives over the last couple of days has been unreal.
Yeah, I know. And he just has that big documentary just came out about him. I think it actually aired for the first time publicly yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. But with that being said, I was really happy to know that John Madden actually, Fox confirmed that he did get to watch the entire documentary before he passed away. And how cool is that? Because all of us, especially the older we get, right, you start to think about your mortality and what are people going to say about me at my funeral? We've all had that thought, right?
What's your legacy?
What's your legacy? Well, John Madden literally got to watch the documentary where all these greats, these Hall of Famers, everybody were speaking all of these great words about him and telling stories about him. He basically got to see what people are going to say about him at his funeral. How cool is that?
Yeah,
I mean, it's sad, but it's cool. It's like,
so he had all of his family with him, and I was watching a couple of shows today. The producers of Fox put this together for John Madden. It's called All Madden. It's on, if you have Xfinity, it's on Peacock. It's on everything. Go watch it. They're airing it all over ESPN now. They picked it up as well, so just go watch it. It's called All Madden, and it's fantastic. And all of his family got to sit down and watch it. So he got to ask his family what they thought about it and everything, all his kids and his wife. His wife and him, 61 and a half years married.
Jeez.
Unbelievable. That's just unheard of these
How?
days.
How does one accomplish that? I don't know, but God bless him.
Yeah, 61 and a half years married. If you watch this documentary, I mean, dude, if you were worrying about who was the rock behind John Madden, you can tell. She's just an absolute beast. She's awesome. She even said that losing was worse to her. It got to the point where losing was worse to her.
Ooh,
like, she was so competitive. Yeah, she was a gangster for sure. But there's 3 different parts of John Madden's life, right?
Okay.
You've got the coaching part of his life, which took up 10 years, and still to this day the most winningest coach percentage-wise in NFL history.
Really?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah, over 75% victories. Unbelievable.
Wow.
One Super Bowl. Youngest coach at the time, 32 years old, became the Raiders head coach. But just a 10-year coaching career. And when he retired from coaching, he moved on to a second part of his career, which was the broadcasting, in which he didn't really want to broadcast. That wasn't in his, that's not what he wanted to do. And if you watch this whole thing and all the stuff that people talked about, but he got convinced to do it by his agent. And I mean, we know the rest is history, really.
Yeah, one of the most iconic broadcasters of all time. I just remember not to age myself or anything, but I don't remember a lot of him as a broadcaster growing up. My memory is real foggy.
Sure.
But I do remember yellow marker all over the screen.
Yeah.
When that became a thing, he was really into that yellow marker all over the screen. Just everything, even on Troy Aikman's face, talking about the beard and everything.
And you know, when you say that, it's funny. They showed the Tough Acting Tenactin commercial. Boom, Tough Acting Tenactin, you know, and that was so iconic. He became so well known for advertising. He sold Miller Lite like it was going out of style.
Yeah.
And then Tenactin basically became famous because of John Madden.
No, I totally believe it.
Athlete's Foot went away because of John Madden.
He's one of those people who's so brandable, so marketable. I mean, his voice, I can just hear his voice on radio and I know exactly who it is.
Yeah.
You know, that's amazing whenever you can hold that type of branding, marketing ability. Like, I mean, the dude's a star. He's a legend.
Just unreal. And as far as
a whole video game.
Yeah, I mean, we're leading up to that. I mean, on Mount Rushmore of football, you probably have 4 people. Jim Brown's up there, but John Madden would have to go up on the Mount Rushmore in football.
For sure. Lombardi.
Lombardi.
The trophy's named after him.
I mean, it just so I didn't know this either. When he moved from CBS to Fox, he basically created all of the sports networks for Fox. They didn't have sports. There was only 4 networks back then. There was CBS, ABC, Fox, and then I forget the other one, but. He moved from CBS to Fox Sports. They didn't even have studios for him, and he created this whole thing for Fox Sports. And Fox Sports today, what we know it, is just because of John Madden, his voice and what he carried over from CBS to Fox. The whole network, the whole sports network.
Wow,
it's unreal. As people talk about a coaching tree, he has a media tree that's just unreal.
Yeah, that, and then like you said earlier, we didn't even get into the video game part yet. But I mean, the most iconic sports franchise video game that you can think of. I mean, FIFA doesn't compare, NBA 2K doesn't compare. I can't think of anything that compares, even games that are non-sports. What is more iconic and more of a household name and just known by all than Madden?
Does not. I mean, they have tournaments, right? I mean, he changed the way you even think about gaming.
Millionaires are made off of esports and gaming.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, if you're the best Madden football player every year, you're known.
Yeah.
And when that contest came out a while back, I mean, EA Sports wouldn't be EA Sports without John Madden.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
and athletes get mad about their speed numbers. You see dudes like Tom Brady tweeting about they better up my speed in Madden. Yeah. Like, that is iconic. It's no longer called, a football game called Madden. The football game is Madden, and there will never be another football game, probably because they just can't compare.
Yeah, I mean, just watching John Madden go through the progress of life, you know, even him being afraid of airplanes. Well, you learned today that it wasn't he was afraid of flying. He was claustrophobic.
Oh.
So that's what kind of...
That's a terrible phobia.
And it was one of the flights. He had one flight, and he said, if I ever touch the ground when I get off this flight, I will never take a plane again. And he didn't. And he went home and told his wife, and his wife said that they never said a word about it after that. He would never talk about it, like nothing. Like that was it. And he took a bus from then on out. And that bus ended up being extremely famous. All these people used to go on rides with him across the country and do all these things, and he visited all these small towns. Like, there was so much more to him that we didn't know about, other than the video games, other than broadcasting. His coaching career was fantastic, and it takes a back seat to everything he did.
Yeah, that's amazing.
He was Super Bowl champ.
Most winning percentage, you said,
yeah,
in the NFL ever.
And
that's not even what he's known for, really.
No, not at all. And I mean,
Jeez.
He's one of those people in NFL. He's bigger than life,
Yeah,
and like this
he's
was
like the Madonna of
yes.
football, or name a pop icon.
Yeah, he's the trifecta, right? When they call it an entertainment, right? Like the acting, singing, and dancing. I don't know, whatever. But but Madden's the trifecta, if not the quad. I mean, he's unbelievable. And I was watching another special today. If you're old enough to remember, John Madden and Brett Favre had the most incredible relationship. They were hysterical together. And Madden loved Brett Favre. He loved doing the Packers games. He was friends with Lombardi, so he spent a lot of time in that stadium. But their relationship was unbelievable. And listen to Brett Favre talk about him today was emotional and great at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
He was just he meant so much to so many people. Joe Montana, Troy Aikman, Brett Favre. I mean, these just Lawrence Taylor. That just everybody knows who John Madden is.
Yeah, for sure. They've all worked them. They probably all go to his grandbaby's christenings. Like they're all in tight with him. He's definitely a legend. He is the man. Sad to see that he passed away, but he definitely fulfilled a life. I heard somebody speaking about him today. It was on the radio. They were playing an audio clip, and the guy was talking about how he lived his life to the fullest with what he was given. The guy was talking about one day when we all meet our maker or whatever, you answer one question, hypothetically, theoretically, what did you do with what you were given? Nobody has made more with what they were given than John Madden.
Yeah,
he could say yes. He could answer yes. I did the most with what
Boom!
I was given.
Yeah, I mean, it just he was unbelievable. There was another guy that said one of the first times he heard a broadcaster talk about him on the sideline when he was coaching, said he just looked like an unmade bed. And he did, if you look at him, he kind of does, but he took it in stride. He's like, oh, I loved it. I thought it was the greatest compliment ever. He said that he didn't have many clothes, and whatever he wore to the game that day, if they won, then that was his winning outfit. He was just going to keep wearing that same thing. And it's just an incredible character, an incredible family, and obviously an incredible life. And man, wish nothing but the best for his family. And the NFL lost a great ambassador for the sport.
Absolutely, but he will live on. I mean, his name's not going to be said any less anytime soon. You know what I mean?
No, the outpour the last day and a half has been just unbelievable.
Absolutely.
And you'll see more. And the NFL, so y'all know, the NFL and Fox Sports are planning something. We just don't know when it is. So they're waiting for the right time with the family or whatever. And there will be, whether it be NFC playoff game or Super Bowl or something, there will be some sort of production that goes on about John Madden. Because, again, he's on Mount Rushmore of the NFL.
Yeah, no, for sure. I expect nothing less than a tribute video before the Super Bowl, probably at halftime as well. Whoever's performing, I don't remember. And, afterwards. I mean, the guy is just, it doesn't get any bigger than that in the largest sport in America.
100%. All right, rest in peace, John Madden. We're going to carry on the tradition for you, do the best that we can. All right, in other entertainment news, just completely off topic. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver got a divorce.
Oh.
Now, normally this is not big news, right?
Yeah.
But except for that it's been 10 and a half years they've been in court.
Wait, they've been divorcing for 10 and a half years?
Yes. 10 and a half years Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver have been in a divorce.
Ooh, what does she want? What does she want?
I don't know. Well, didn't he sleep with the maid, right?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah,
and he has a kid.
With the maid?
He has a kid by the maid.
Oh, Lord,
Arnold.
Have mercy. She's trying to
sports
take,
related, right?
She's trying to take she is playing the long game, dude.
Oh,
man. If you're divorcing for 10 and a half years, there is something you really want and you're not willing to settle.
Well,
you know you're going to get it. Otherwise, why 10.5 years?
Yeah, well, they're single now. So Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver are now single, which is after 10.5 years. Like, that's crazy. That is a long divorce. Like, just say we're together and we just don't want to deal with it financially. But whatever. I digress, man. Happy holidays to everybody out there. We are 3 days away from biggest party day of the year, New Year's Eve. Any plans, Rachel?
New Year's Eve, I'm going to do something. I just don't know what yet. What about you?
I don't have a clue, man. Oh yeah. Our producer over there, Jason, his band is playing down at the Continental Club, so y'all go down there and check him out if y'all can. I know.
What's the band called? The Monicas.
The Monicas.
I love it.
Club, New Year's Eve. I don't know yet. I'm kid-free, so plans?
You have to party by obligation, whether you want to or not. Kid-free on New Year's Eve, you need to go party, Jeff. How long has it been since you've been out?
It's been a minute. Well, I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah.
But actually gone out and like gone to a club and like gone in on New Year's Eve or something like that. It's been quite the time. But y'all let me know what your suggestions are. Man, y'all look us up on all the social media. Jason's got our handles he'll put up there for us. But whatever your plans are New Year's Eve, let us know. Maybe we will join in. Let's get to the rundown, man. We talked about John Madden. The NFL put in new protocols. And when they did that today, this is for COVID, 100 players returned to the field today for the NFL. 100.
That's a lot.
That's insane. Now, this includes practice squad players, but check this out. I didn't really realize practice squad players, how big of a role they play in getting prepared for the week's game. If all your practice squad players are out and your starters are out, you're going to have major problems, which I think Washington did, the Chargers did, Baltimore did. There's a bunch of people that did. Like I did. 100 players returned for the NFL today.
That's a lot. I wish them the best. I'm sorry, I choked up on my water a little bit, and now I can't. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, you gotta love that. You gotta love that.
It's a great time. It's a great time to be on air with a microphone in your face. Trust me. But no, the funny thing is about the Chargers and you mentioned the Chargers. It just made me think one of the biggest upsets of the week when the Texans stomped the Chargers. Rex Burkhead, MVP apparently. No, but the Chargers had less people out with COVID than the Texans did.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about that Chargers game. I like the progress of Davis Mills. I don't like what the effort the Chargers put up, like, at all. I don't think that if you're a Chargers fan, you did either. We touched on this a little bit yesterday, but will this affect the Chargers moving forward? That was a huge game for them in this playoff race, like a massive game for them in the playoff race, and I'm hoping they can recover because I like the Chargers. I really like.
You like Justin Herbert?
Yeah, I know.
And
I do.
Austin Eckler.
I do.
But their coaching situation not sold. They lost games this year that they shouldn't have lost, and they've won games that are kept it close against good teams. It's a team that's very, very capable. But they can't stop the run at all, period. I mean, when you let Rex Burkhead...
Rex Burkhead ran over you.
It's insane. But no, they have major issues, and even whenever they get to the playoffs, you don't expect them to do anything there after they're just so highly inconsistent. I don't know what the get-right answer is for them. They still should have won that game against the Texans without Austin Eckler. Justin Herbert should have been enough for them, and he wasn't. And like you said, Rex Burkhead going off for I don't know how many yards, but a lot.
135, 140. I think we all expected Justin Herbert to take the Josh Allen step. Like,
right.
He needed to take that step forward and that progression because they have all the weapons. They've got a great offense and a decent defense. So I'm just waiting for them to be what the Chargers can be, but man, they just lost to a really bad Texans team.
But go Texans, man! They don't even know how to lose right. They're gonna mess around and lose a top 5 pick.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, that's just Houston, right? That's just
they should have pulled everybody. I'm sure they planned on Davis Mills not getting 300 yards though, which was his third or fourth 300-yard game, in which I think he leads all rookies in 300-yard games.
Yeah, no, and it's really funny because I pulled up some stats the other day for my TV show, and really just to troll my boss / producer because
nice, I love it.
I always troll him on the fact that I'm like, Davis Mills Mafia, and I'm like young Stanford out there, like he's the future of the franchise, blah, blah. I don't know if I truly believe that or not. But with that being said, he just loses his mind whenever I say that. So I pulled up these stats on the TV show, and I wish I had them in front of me. I didn't know I was going to be talking about this. But his stats are on par and comparable with Trevor Lawrence, who obviously we know is having not a good season. Ooh. But it's just funny. I'm like, look, Houston, you basically have Trevor Lawrence in Davis Mills. Let's go.
I think in the NFL right now, he's got the best red zone. He's got like 6 touchdowns and no interceptions, something like that, which is not a ton, but he's got the best like touchdown interception ratio in the red zone right now out of all quarterbers. Which is insane.
Davis Mills?
Yeah, Davis Mills.
I missed that.
Yeah, Skills Mills, I guess.
Skills Mills.
Whatever you want to do.
Mills Mafia.
But look, real quick, let's touch on some college football games that are either going to be played or not played. They keep canceling games. Maryland beat Virginia Tech 54-10 earlier. Whoa. Tua Tagovailoa's brother, 20 of 24, 265, and 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's efficient.
What did Virginia Tech expect, though? Like, I don't know. It's a Big 12 defense. Like, come on.
The reason I wanted to bring this up, too, is because the SEC looks terrible. Terrible right now. They've lost 3 bowl games to the group of 5 so far. Houston beat Auburn. Army had beat Missouri, and Central Florida over Florida.
Yeah, no, the Central Florida thing, I kind of felt that one coming. I know some people that went to Central Florida, and that fan base, man, they really sold me on taking them to cover in that game. So Florida's just terrible. They're horrible.
Going down the tube.
I love it. I love it for Group of 5 schools. University of Houston, it's my alma mater. Love whenever they upset the big boys.
Yeah, I mean,
just makes me happy.
3 SEC teams have lost so far in bowl games.
But the SEC is kind of the case of the haves and the have-nots. You know what I mean? We always talk about what a stout defenses that are in the SEC, and yes, all those schools they pull recruits better than ideally than a Group of 5 would. But with that being said, if you're not Alabama or Georgia, what are you even doing?
Yeah, well, that's the backup argument, is that Alabama and Georgia are in the playoffs, right? So it doesn't matter if 3 of the other teams have lost. You got Alabama and Georgia in the playoffs. And Clemson right now, 19, they're winning 6-3 at Iowa State. Boring football game.
Not a good year for them either.
Clemson came back, though. They have actually ran off a bunch of wins. They actually look pretty decent now. They're 9-3, got themselves in a decent bowl game. They were unranked at one point.
Yeah, no, I know. After I watched them play the first game of the season, I think it was first or second against Georgia, and I don't believe a touchdown was scored in that game by either team. It was a pretty boring game. I think the final score was like 9-6 or something really ridiculous like that. But at that point, that's whenever I took the bet at it was like plus 450 of Georgia to go undefeated the rest of the season, because I thought Clemson was going to be the first loss of the season when it wasn't. I was like, oh, Georgia, let's go, and, cashed. So nice.
Up until Alabama.
Yeah, the bet that I took didn't count the SEC championship game.
So you just regular season. Yeah. Great bet. Which I'm pretty sure, I'd like to get your thoughts on this because you're here at least once a week with me. Mm-hmm. The college football playoffs start this Friday. What's your thoughts on these games? Okay, so first off, you're looking at, obviously, if you know anything about the college football playoffs, the games this Friday, Cincinnati and Alabama, Georgia and Michigan, which is hysterical because the Cincinnati and Alabama game, Alabama's not even the primetime game. They're at 2:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, so should be.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah. I would love nothing more than to see Cincinnati. They don't even have to win this game. I would love to see them play Bama close. It's not going to happen. I don't care all the talking heads that try to convince me that it will. They're trying to convince me that somehow Cincinnati's secondary might be able to throw off the passing game of Alabama. No, if Georgia couldn't do it, Cincinnati damn sure ain't doing it.
Well, in Alabama, I get it. They lost their number 1 wide receiver to a knee injury. He's out, but they still have – it's Alabama.
Alabama.
They've got 7 backups that are probably just as good. That game's at 2:30. The line right now sits at negative 13.5, Alabama. I'm riding that all day long.
For sure. Absolutely.
I think Vegas is – I don't know. They might take them – because college football is the biggest gambling sport out there.
Yeah.
And – they might take a massive hit on that. I think, and look, it's gambling, so I could be wrong. Don't put your house on it. I'm not telling you what to do, but
Alabama should, in theory, win by 20 plus.
At least. Yeah, I mean,
at least.
if Cincinnati scores 14, I'd be surprised.
I would be very surprised. And bets. If I'm a betting woman, and I am, and I bet on this game, which I have not done so yet, I would probably be looking more at props or first quarter props. Even I know that Alabama. I think I saw some ridiculous stat that for like 3 years in a row, Alabama has covered in the first quarter in every single game.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah.
This game is in Dallas, for those of y'all that didn't know, in Jerry World. Cincinnati 13-0, ranked 4th, Alabama 12-1 at 2:30 on Friday. The over-under sits at 57.5. And so here's the shocker to me. If it's Cincinnati or Alabama minus 13.5, why is the over/under at 57.5?
Why is it so high?
Yeah. If it's a high-scoring game, you can forget about it. Alabama's blowing them out by 30.
Yeah, because I feel like that's what Vegas is telling you. Unless you're one of those people that tries to read in between the lines, say, "Oh, Vegas is giving you these numbers because they think the public's going to bet this way. They're double Jedi mind trick on you, whatever." But at face value, that's telling me that Alabama's scoring all the points.
Yeah, that's exactly where I read into this. And you can't tell me that Nick Saban is not going to have his Alabama team ready for that Cincinnati.
They're not a team. It's not the Chargers versus the Texans last week, right?
Didn't they beat Georgia by more than 13.5?
Yeah. Now, I know that they hung up 41 points on Georgia's defense.
Cincinnati's better than Georgia?
No.
I'm just lost on this line. I'm just lost.
Yeah.
I do not understand. Vegas sees something that we don't, or maybe, I don't know. But usually I would say it's a catch game, right?
Yeah.
But I can't find the reasoning.
I can't find it either. So if something looks too good to be true, it normally is. The marquee matchup here is going to be Georgia versus Michigan.
Yes.
And I think Georgia's going to handle Michigan well, and I think we're going to obviously have a repeat of the SEC championship with Alabama and Georgia. I have no faith in Michigan.
I don't either. I love their storyline.
They're cute.
I like Harbaugh having a comeback year when I guess 2 years ago he was on the hot seat almost. I do like that they came back and they stayed with Harbaugh. I just think that McNamara is not that good of a quarterback. I mean, look, he's got 2,470 yards and only 15 TDs. Bryce Young has 4,322 yards and 43 touchdowns. Like, that's not even comparable. Like,
no,
not even close.
It's not. And just not to keep harping on the Alabama thing, but every time I listen to this young man talk, I'm like, there's no way in hell you're a freshman.
Oh, you're talking about Bryce Young?
Yeah.
Yeah. I literally thought that he was entering the draft this year. I was like, he's number one pick. But then he's a freshman. I was like, wow. Because you're right. When he talks, I was like, this is an intelligent human being.
All the tangibles, all the intangibles. Yep. I mean, this dude is a star. The Texans should really just wait on him. I would wait on him.
Next year, lose every game because he will be phenomenal. And you're right, like he does have those intangibles. And when I heard him speak at the Heisman Awards, I was like blown away.
Yeah, no,
unbelievable.
And the endorsements for this dude are going to be out the wazoo. Like, he's so handsome and just charming and personable and charismatic, and he just has like $1 million smile.
43 touchdowns.
Yeah, no, it's
so
stupid.
far this year
in the SEC.
If he throws 7 in the next 2 games, 50 touchdowns.
You know who's going to get credit for this?
Jeez.
Bill O'Brien.
Right.
I coached Tom Brady and Bryce Young.
Oh, gosh.
Who's my suitors? Come and get me.
So yesterday I was having this conversation, too, about college coaches that jump to the NFL.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sorry, I'm not a Bill O'Brien fan. But
neither am I.
If you want to consider success stories, because there's not a ton of them from college to NFL, I mean, including Nick Saban, Pete Carroll's a success story, but Bill O'Brien is, compared to all the other ones, is a success story.
I guess. And, I mean, coaching
compared to all the other ones, the Jaguars, and they just lost their head coach.
Right.
Oh, my gosh.
Urban
Meyer. And he just miserably failed. And that's one of the best college coaches of all time.
Yeah,
like
sure.
Hands down. And
these sticks don't work in the NFL.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's what they got to figure out, is this micromanaging or this authoritarian type of thing. It's great in college with a bunch of kids that aren't making any money. It works there. In the NFL, these dudes are making more money than you. They're bigger than you. They're stronger than you. They're putting their bodies physically on the line every day. You don't get to kick them. You don't get to call them names.
Yeah.
You can lose
They're
your
big boys.
You can lose your temper. You can pull the
But
Bill
you gotta-
Belichick thing when you're winning.
Yeah, you have to know your pick your time.
Right.
You know, be very smooth in your delivery when it comes to these grown men. Like,
Right.
you know, you got
They're
to know
not
how
gonna
to
buy
treat.
into your crap
Yeah.
if you're not
It's not an
winning.
18-year-old.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And it's funny you mentioned that about the systems and stuff like that, because reverting back to John Madden, and I heard this today on one of the talk shows about how his influence in the John Madden football game has literally changed the NFL now, because the young coaches that are coaching now grew up playing in Madden. And what do we all do when we play Madden? Hut, throw it long.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we just opened up the offense. Nobody like running the football in Madden.
Unless you had Michael Vick.
Yeah, yeah, and you ran around everywhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
but so it was funny because they were comparing John Madden's like legacy as far as the video game, how now it's playing out on the NFL field, how
Yeah.
people played that video game now with all the quarterbacks we had that are running around doing stuff. It looks like a Madden football game.
Yeah, absolutely. And the spread offenses and everything. We see the college game kind of making, I always thought, I've always been told it's the college game kind of making its
Yeah.
way into the NFL. But I never thought about it being a Madden influence.
Me
that,
neither.
That makes sense.
But it does make sense.
makes
sense.
sense.
Like Sean McVay. He was playing Madden football growing up and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Like, so
And Cliff.
Yeah, of course, Kingsbury and all them.
Yep.
So, and of course, those coaches that are in college are all young now too, and I'm sure they played Madden. But anyways, the impact he had across football in general is just unbelievable, especially in the NFL. Back to the Georgia-Michigan game, 6:30 Friday night after Alabama beat Cincinnati. Right now, Georgia minus 7.5. The over/under's at 45.5. Give me your takes.
I would consider taking Georgia to cover that one, just because I think Michigan, they're a team that's got to run the ball, and Georgia stops the run. So I don't feel like you're going to run the ball over them. It would take Michigan's quarterback to be playing the game of his life, and I just don't think
Yeah.
they have the talent to do that. They out hustle people all season. They tackle really hard. They're scrappy. You know what I mean? They
I
got a
also
lot
think
of
they're a
fight.
little pissed off.
Why? Because they're
Alabama.
dogs. Oh, Alabama?
No, you talking about Georgia's defense?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I think they're pissed off that Alabama game.
Yeah.
I think they feel like they have something to prove, because they got ran over.
They
were
did.
the number one defense in the nation, hands down, throughout the year, every game of the year,
Secondary
and then
got cut up.
just
Cut up.
destroyed.
Yeah, no, and I hope that they're mad. Please be mad, but be really mad whenever you play Alabama in the next game, Georgia. Those of you that don't know, Georgia, the Bulldogs. That's my Power 5 team. That's my second team. I used to live in Georgia. I got a lot of friends that went to school there. I root for the Dogs. I would love to see them. Kirby Smart, get your flowers. Get over the Nick Saban mountain. Make it happen. Can it happen? If it was ever going to happen, this is the year that it's going to happen. And if you don't, I don't know. People they may start saying hot seat for Kirby Smart. I don't know.
I don't know about that. He's getting them maybe to the national championship game, but then again, the turnover in college football now. But I don't think anybody wants to see. Well, I guess either game, Alabama, because I don't think anybody wants to see Cincinnati in the championship, which I don't think that'll happen. But I think either one of those games will be a big draw, and I somehow think that the Michigan would be a bigger draw.
It probably would. The blue Michigan Wolverines, that fan base is rabid, very much so. They would love nothing more than to be there. I could. It's a big program. Like, Georgia is a big program.
Yeah.
We know that. But is there as much of a
national,
draw or
no.
national
It's
appeal as what Michigan
in the
has?
South? Georgia's huge, right? Georgia, Alabama, Southern Athletic.
Georgia's
the
not
SEC.
even the biggest school in Georgia.
No.
I can tell you that. Whenever I lived there was way more Auburn fans and Bama fans in Georgia than there were University of Georgia, which always kind of frustrated me and confused me, because I grew up in Texas originally, and I'm like, when I was younger, University of Texas was where it was, because you're Texas. Even if you didn't go to school to Texas, you root for the burnt orange. In Georgia, it's not the same. They're losing to 2 schools in Alabama in that state before they ever get to Georgia.
Yeah, and that's why I think the bigger draw, if you are the college football playoffs committee or, revenue,
Right.
you want Michigan. You
Yeah.
want Alabama, Michigan, not only because
And Harbaugh, Saban.
Yeah, Harbaugh, Saban,
Yeah.
the yellow and blue out there again in a national championship game. That's probably, and obviously Michigan nationally is more of a draw than Georgia is. Now, if you just want the lower half of the United States to watch the football game,
Right.
Alabama, Georgia, go at it again.
Yep.
You know, but I'm sure they want Michigan. The sits at 7.5. I don't know about that game.
What was the point total?
45.5. That is just, man, that's spot on.
It really is, man.
That's hard.
They know what they're doing. I would look to see how the line moves, maybe closer to the game.
Yeah.
A couple hours before the game, see if it goes up or down, then you feel a little bit better taking a bet.
You got a couple of days. Right now, if you were forcing me, I think I would take Michigan in the points. I think I'd take the 7.5 points. Or maybe I'd do the first half with Michigan playing really tough the first half.
Yeah.
Maybe take Michigan in the first half with some points. I don't think that they'll withstand the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
I think Georgia ends up winning this game, but I can't see it being close.
I would take Georgia with the 7.5. That would be my most comfortable bet here right now.
With the way that Vegas is playing this and with the way that I'm sure they want Michigan in that game, that's why I say that Michigan, it's going to be closer than – I don't think that's going to be as big of a blowout as Alabama-Cincinnati.
Yeah, no,
That's
absolutely. But I am rooting for you, Cincinnati Bearcats. Do something. Make your presence known. Do it for all the Group of 5 schools.
All right, let's move on from some college football to the NFL, which is Rachel's favorite, and her Falcons taking on the Buffalo Bills
Oh, Lord.
this weekend. Let's see, man. Buffalo, minus 14.5.
What has Buffalo done
Oh, my
lately?
goodness.
So this isn't really, I feel like this betting line is not a testament to how good the Bills are, but rather how bad the Falcons are. But I'll tell you this, look, the Falcons got a decent secondary.
They're 7-8. I don't know how. I have no clue. This is one of the most impressive records of the year so far. How are
Really?
they 7-8? Matt Ryan has been horrendous. Like, terrible.
Wait,
and
what?
their only offensive player is Cordell Patterson. They lost the other guy to mental health reasons.
Yeah.
And then, was it Ridley?
Ridley,
Ridley,
Calvin Ridley.
went to mental health issues or whatever.
mad about that.
Yeah, and then, like, they have had nobody. The running backs have been hurt. They haven't had anybody
No,
solid.
Mike Davis didn't play out. The running game
Yeah.
has not been there. The offensive line cannot run block at all. Hell, they can't even protect Matt Ryan. He's one of the most pressured quarterbacks with I saw some crazy stat the other day, is one of the least amounts of time out of all 32 starting quarterbacks to actually make a pass, throw the ball.
For them to be 7-8, I just think it's impressive.
Hayden Hurst was injured for a while.
And 5-3 away.
Yeah, and Kyle
Whoa.
Pitts, basically a non-factor the first, 3 or 4
Yeah.
weeks of the season, and he is on pace. That with being a non-factor the first, 3 weeks of the season, let's say, on pace to shatter records and have the most receiving yards of any rookie tight end ever. And
Yeah.
he's not even, you feel like he's not even really doing that much. If you watch a Falcons game, I feel sorry for you. But if you watch him, you don't really feel him that much, but he's there and he's making moves, and it's him and Cordell Patterson. And that dude, Cordell Patterson, didn't know much about him before he became a Falcon. Just remembered him being, I think, with the Vikings, and I felt like he was injured all the time. And I remembered he was a hybrid because I used to have him in fantasy one year. I was desperate. Running back, wide receiver mix. And he is just such a good person. The things that he does in the community and stuff. And then this comeback year that he's having after being irrelevant basically for years.
Yeah.
Special teams, offense, running back, wide receiver. Like, the dude does it all. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm impressed with them. Like I said, I can't believe they're close to 500. If you just say the Atlanta Falcons, you would think that they're 3-12. You know, you wouldn't think of almost a 500 team. But it's an interesting game. I think I would take the Falcons plus the points on that one. It's hard to give up 2 touchdowns in any. I don't care how bad the teams are. But playoff standings right now in the AFC. This is wide. This is interesting. The only team that's clinched anything is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Tennessee Titans still at 10-5, man, without Derrick Henry. Impressive. Cincinnati Bengals off that just monster game by Burrow. Just couldn't believe that.
Oh my gosh. When Burrow is hot. Like, I can't help but love that kid.
And what he said afterwards, like, he just rubbed it in the Ravens' faces. Like, it was just, I mean, he said
I
that
love it. I love that team.
all gas, no brakes. Like,
All gas,
woo.
no brakes. Those young receivers are coming into form, getting really good. The chemistry is there. And Joe Burrow, if I was on his team, like I would just want to run through a wall for that dude. There's something gritty about him. He just feels like a man of the team.
You have people forgot about his terrible knee injury last year.
Yeah,
terrible. And now him to come back and do this. Now I hated it because I was in the playoffs and my fantasy football team, and the guy I was playing had him. I mean, so my day was ruined.
You're out.
Oh yeah, and he had Tyler Boyd. Like it was just. Brutal. Like I think it was the second quarter when a 67-yard touchdown bomb. Both of them automatically had 14 or 15 fantasy points, and I went from being a 60% chance of winning to like 30% chance winning.
That's the worst. That's the worst.
And on the flip side of that, I had Matt Stafford.
Oh, I had Matt Stafford too. Nothing. I had Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp.
Oh God.
Like
ouch.
Cooper still managed to have a good game. I think he was targeted like 14 times, so he's going to catch at least 10 of them. So that helps, especially in a PPR league. But that week, I fully expected to win last week in my league as well, and I did not.
Yeah. Right now, the playoff race at the bottom of there, you got Buffalo, Indianapolis, New England at 6, and Miami at 7. Underneath Miami, the top 7 get in. Baltimore, Los Angeles, the Chargers we just talked about, the Las Vegas Raiders, Pittsburgh still in. And Pittsburgh and Cleveland play in an incredible Monday Night Football game, which will be this is great. The Monday Night Football game will be Ben Roethlisberger's last Monday Night Football game and his last home game in Pittsburgh.
That's crazy. I didn't even think about all that.
Yeah. So, and it's against Cleveland. So you can bet this is going to be one huge emotional roller coaster ride.
Okay, so initially whenever you mentioned the game, I'm thinking, Browns are going to get it together and win this game. But if this is truly last Monday night game, last game in Pittsburgh.
He'll put together something good.
I would consider taking the over for sure. I don't know, maybe the over on the whatever the team total is for the Steelers in this game. But now that I know all that, I mean, the dude's going in the Hall of Fame.
I was going to ask you, and I think he will.
Right?
He's played 18 seasons. He's racked up just monster stats. So yeah, I would think so. With the Super Bowl, yeah. Right now it sits Cleveland -3. I would take Steelers in the points.
But it's plus 100. They're begging you to take the Steelers in the points right here.
It's in Pittsburgh. I think Ben puts together a really good game. I bet it's his last game ever at home. So I think he throws for 300 and like two scores. Like I like the Steelers having a good game. And whenever you have something emotional like this, like Najee Harris might go off. Deontay Johnson might go off. I know he hasn't.
Watt's gonna go off.
Yeah. TJ might go off. I mean, they're gonna play for Big Ben. His last game at home, his last Monday night game. So that should be pretty interesting. That's gonna be a fun game to watch. That's the only draw to that game.
Yeah, I was gonna say you just hyped the game up for me. I really didn't care, but now I'm here for it.
Now you're on it.
Yeah, that's appointment TV now.
Everybody's pointing towards this one game, right? And I am too. Cardinals at the Cowboys. The Cowboys beat up on a really, really bad and COVID diminished Washington team. And
that was sad.
Look, they had like 15 players out.
Yeah.
Like it was unbelievable. Like half their offense was out. I think they had 8 starters out total. It was, I just don't put all your eggs in the Cowboys basket on that game. And that's what I think a lot of people are doing.
Yeah. I can see
Cowboys
that.
are ready to win the Super Bowl. I'm like, on what? Based on what?
Well,
what quality win this year?
I have to look at. I'm sure they've got one.
Yeah, there's one. I think there's one. Week 1 versus. No, they lost to the Bucs.
No, they lost to the Bucs. I remember that.
Let's see. They beat
look.
So check this out: Chargers, Eagles, Panthers, Giants, Patriots in overtime. That's not a quality win, really. Vikings, they lost to the Broncos, beat the Falcons, lost to the Chiefs, lost to the Raiders. Okay, so here we go on their 4-game winning streak. Saints, Washington, Giants, Washington.
You make a good point.
Where's Dallas's huge couple of quality wins during the season?
Right. No, they didn't even beat the Raiders. Like I would even consider because the Raiders are a weird team to me.
Yeah,
I would even consider beating them would be. They lost to the Broncos. They stomped my Falcons. That's a quality win right there.
There you go.
43-3.
There you go.
No, they lost to the Chiefs. They lost to the Raiders. They barely beat the Vikings. I remember that game. That was in prime time.
So their only quality
they beat the
win,
Patriots.
Yeah, in an overtime to rookie Mac Jones.
Yeah.
That would be their only, in my opinion, quality win. The Chargers in the second week, they won by 3 points, and the Chargers just got dismantled by the Houston Texans and Rex Burkhead. So I'm not hanging my hat. Now, granted, the Chargers had some COVID issues, and so you're going to hang your hat on a 56-point performance by a Washington team that had 8 starters out.
No, and remember they had the was it the muff punt?
Yeah,
that the dude got and walked in
because
the
they
end
had people not in awkward positions.
Yeah.
So Dallas ran over a beat up and COVID Washington team, and I don't see where everybody's like the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. Like,
but how impressed
based
are you with
on what?
Well, in their defense, okay, I'm not some Cowboys truther.
Sure.
And you know that I hate Dan Quinn, so it is going to pain me to say this. But their defense is playing well, and Dak, for the most part, is not turning the ball over. Now, if they had their run game established, like we all expected, with Zeke and everything, I would be like, oh, hell yeah, they're going to make a deep playoff run. If they don't get the run game together more consistently, I don't know. I don't want Dak having to throw the ball 45 times a game
they'll
or
lose.
anything like that. Right.
Definitely.
So, but whenever you're not turning the ball over and you play good defense, I feel like you stand a chance.
Yeah.
And we know what Dak is capable of.
I agree, but again, he's capable. If Dak throws 35 times and they rush for 150, 180 yards, they're going to win.
Yeah.
If Dak's throwing 42 to 45 times and they've got 80 yards on the ground, you're losing. Like, I mean, that's basically the simple math when it comes down to the Cowboys. And to this point, the Cardinals game this Sunday, 3:25, enormous. Because the Cardinals are finally back somewhat healthy. Obviously, J.J. Watt gone for the season, but they look to be a little bit more healthy now than they were. Obviously, Kyler Murray and them are getting back on track. Massive divisional game. I mean, not divisional game, but in as far as the conference game and home field advantage. We'll see what Dallas has. If Dallas can come out and hang up 45 on Arizona, hey, then you got something going and they look hot going. But I hate when people do this, right? Dallas jumps all over Washington. If they lose this week, let's say 28-14 to Arizona, is everybody back off?
Probably, I guess, outside of Cowboys fans. And the Cardinals haven't looked that great recently.
No, they haven't. That's what I'm
the
saying.
past 2 weeks, they haven't played that well. So let's see. The Cowboys, they are at home. Yeah, they need to come out and probably have a statement game. But the Cardinals, the Rams are in their division. So
and you have an Eagles team.
And the 49ers are in their division.
They get an Eagles team after that is running the ball really well.
Oh,
and
for sure.
That last game.
I think Sanders is out, but even when he is out, they can still run the ball.
That last game in Philadelphia, Dallas in Philadelphia, will be an interesting football game.
Oh, and they're going to duke it out because Philly hates
conference game or
Dallas.
Division game.
One of the greatest rivalries probably in all of sports. So.
It's going to be fun to watch, man. All right. One more thing. Well, we got a couple more things, but I got to ask you this. I'm pretty sure I know you're Is Cam Newton done? I mean, for real. So he's not the starter. Sam Darnold has now been admitted into the starting lineup for the Carolina Panthers, and the Cam Newton experiment looks like it has come to a really expensive end.
Cam Newton has been done.
Yeah, I know that.
I think I may have had this conversation with you weeks ago when they re-signed him in the first place. And forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think you're the one that convinced me that this was just a move to appease the fan base because the keep pounding, Carolina Panther fan base, they love them some Cam Newton. They're the only fan base that loves them some Cam Newton.
I don't know about anymore. I mean, this dude has looked.
The season was over anyways. Once you lost Christian McCaffrey.
No, it wasn't. I'm back.
My
God, back for what? He was back for a quarter.
I'm back to run your days.
It was one quarter he was back, and then it's been just a really, really bad downhill fall for him. And this is the reason I was so against Cam Newton coming back to football, because I knew his shoulder's out. He can't run as fast anymore. He looks awkward out there. His delivery is slow.
Yeah.
And the helmet looks weird on him. His
helmet looks weird. I haven't noticed that.
It's big, but I want to remember Cam, old school MVP Cam, 2014. The Carolina Panthers doing really well. They tried to bring Cam Newton back, and it was
just to give people a reason to still come into the stadium.
Sure.
I thought,
and I guess they thought that the millions they gave him was worth that. But man, Cam Newton, I think he's only 33, 34 years old.
That's it.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think that he has a career left in the NFL.
No, absolutely not. He needs to go into fashion, keep YouTubing or whatever. It's just, football is not it. That body has taken so many hits. I knew that Cam Newton was done when he was still with the Panthers in his first round, And Ron Rivera was still there, and he came back off of some big surgery, I think on his back or his neck or something, and they came back and said, this offseason, we're going to change your mechanics and your throwing motion. When the dude had already been in the league for, 8 years?
Yeah.
7 years?
Yep.
Now you're going to change my mechanics and make me more of a passer and take away what I do best, which is being physical? I was like, okay, he's done. He's done. Glad to get him out of my division because he's been a thorn in my side. As a Falcons fan, I'm over it. Bye.
All right, look, we got about 5 minutes left in the show. I want to ask you your Super Bowl picks real quick, because I'm hoping you'll be back for the Super Bowl. But just in case, who do you like in the bowl?
In the Super Bowl?
Yep.
Oh man, I was not ready for this question. Give me the Rams.
Ooh, wow, with Stafford. All right.
Oh man, you know what? I don't even know because the Bucks. No, give me Tom Brady because that's what Tom Brady does.
Right. Yep.
And then in the AFC,
that's the rough one.
The AFC is a toss-up, but I don't know, Chiefs maybe. I just trust.
Again, wow.
I just trust them to get there. These are just two people I trust.
I don't even know if I'd watch that. I mean, I would because it's my job, but I would not be excited to see Pat Mahomes and Tom Brady again in the Super Bowl.
But if Pat Mahomes gets back to the offensive Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs that we know that they can be, and Tom Brady does what
explosion?
Well, that's what we want. That's what we thought in the last Super Bowl. We didn't get it. But I have to keep thinking that it's going to come back.
Do you ever really get what you want in the Super Bowl? It's
no.
always the hype,
Rams
and then it's like
Patriots was supposed to be, and it wasn't.
Yeah, it always ends up like that.
You saw what happened to my Falcons. That Super Bowl did not happen the way I wanted it to go.
That was the most exciting Super Bowl in the last 10 years.
The constant here, the common denominator is Tom Brady wins Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And I keep betting on him until it proves me wrong.
I do have Tampa Bay going because the Packers play too many close games. I mentioned this yesterday. Their run differential is only like plus 54 in 2 of those games. They scored like 30-something of those runs, or those points. So, the Packers, a couple mistakes, and they're going to lose a football game. The Dallas Cowboys, I don't trust. The Rams and Stafford. Stafford has a bad game. It's over. And the Arizona Cardinals just haven't proven themselves yet. And just every team below them, which would be Arizona, San Francisco, Philadelphia, I don't have – I think that Tampa –
Nothing about the Rams from you?
No, I just – Stafford could have a bad game like he did the other day.
Yeah.
And they don't – now, granted, their run game seems to be coming back, and we're going to see what happens – with all that. Losing Robert Woods to them was absolute devastation.
But then you go and you get OBJ, and you have the best, I think, the best wide receiver in the league in Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
And then you have Higbee. You have good tight ends. You should be able to run the ball.
That's why
Stafford defense should be there.
Stafford's still a little goffish.
I don't know what the deal is there, but I believe I'm a big Matt Stafford truther, and I'm waiting for the Sean McVay and Matt Stafford thing that I thought was going to happen. I'm still waiting, but I still believe it can come. I don't know.
Thomas says that last game between Dallas and Philly won't matter. I understand that if Philly has nothing to play for, I totally understand that. But I hope that they do. I really, because that will be one of the great games of the year if both of them have something to play for. That will be fantastic.
I take my AFC pick back. Totally forgot about the Colts. The Colts were my pick preseason. I'm sticking with them right now. They come into form. Wentz can stay healthy. I
Jonathan
believe in that
Taylor running that football. I picked them yesterday. I was asked about this, and I got the Colts in Tampa Bay, which I think would be an unbelievable Super Bowl.
That would be fantastic.
I think that'd be just great. I don't think
could Jonathan Taylor run on that Buccaneers defense that nobody has really been able to do. That would be that's the X factor right there.
Yeah, that would be the storylines leading up to that with Carson Wentz finally getting in after he made it to the Super Bowl. Then Nick Foles won. By the way, Nick Foles made an appearance in the NFL last week.
That's all he does. That's all he does is. If you start Nick Foles on your team, you will not win the game. But if he comes in at halftime,
you're gonna win.
You will win. He wills it.
Just Nick Foles. I just
been
like the best third string quarterback that's ever lived. Like Super Bowl champion and everything.
It's the GOAT of backups.
Look, guys, I want to thank y'all for watching Sports with Balls over here, man. Rachel, thank you again, man. That's such a blast. It's always fun. Like I don't even know it was an hour.
I don't feel like it's an hour. Let's just keep going. Let's keep going.
Keep on going, man. Be back tomorrow night. So at 6 o'clock, so we'll see you guys tomorrow night at 6 p.m., man. All right, got to thank a couple of people. Let's go. Construction Concepts, changing corporate culture one design at a time, from hospitality to corporate luxury, retail, and medical facilities. They'll create a space that exceeds your expectations. 713-589-2682, buildithouston.com. They're awesome. Hybrid Technologies Group, Roy Stanton, comes to reliability. They're the ones you need. Phones, cable services, surveillance cameras, cloud services, residential, commercial. This guy is the man. And Fitz Roofing, my man Corey Fitz with a K, dude. Look them up. Their roofs are fantastic. I'm putting one on at the end of January. Half my neighborhood is too. Corey Fitz over there at Fitz Roofing. FitzRoofing.com. All right, man. Any last thoughts?
Last thoughts.
Atlanta, minus 14.5 or no?
No.
Or plus 14 and
The Bills are not that good. If they could run the ball, I'd say yeah, because Atlanta can stop the run. But their secondary is nice. And A.J. Terrell, one of the highlights of the secondary, young dude out of Clemson. I believe this is his rookie year. He's had a stellar year. I think he's making the Pro Bowl. I could be wrong. But, the Bills don't scare. They're not 15 points scary. They're scary. They're winning the game, but they're
Thomas
not.
says Rachel knows her stuff. Yes, Rachel does.
Thank you, Thomas.
Rachel is thebomb.com. All right, man. Look, one more thing. Rest in peace, John Madden, one of the true pioneers of almost everything he did, from coaching to announcing to obviously of video games, which a lot of the younger generation knows him for. But go watch that All Madden special. It's on. This is Sports with Balls. I'm Jeff Michael. This is Rachel Van Orange. We out of here.
Final words. Go to.
Orange Kush sweet got me in my zone. This is how we do it down here in H-Town. I gotta be a G till I D-I-E. Much love to Southside, Young Gun, Lil Kiki, and that pokey. Man, it's like